mathematics.
Mathematics. Mathematics.
It's simple mathematics.
Mathematics. Mathematics.
It's simple mathematics.
Mathematics. Mathematics.
It's simple mathematics.
But how does Mr. Wade know how steep a street is? And how can you find out at home how steep your street is? All right, it's time for bonus content plus a huge revelation about something close to Nashville School of the Arts that I don't think anybody knows about except for us. So, step one, open up Google Maps. And if you don't know where Google Maps is, you can Google Google Maps, literally. Let's type in East Hillview Drive in the top left corner, comma Brentwood, Tennessee, and we're going to click the magnifying glass. Step number 2. Let's click the plus arrow in the bottom right corner and zoom in twice. And we're going to right click the bottom of the hill and select what's here. Step 3. You'll see an approximate address and the GPS coordinates down there at the bottom of the screen. So we're going to click on the GPS coordinates. Hover over it, it's going to turn blue. Now, step 4. We should have a red arrow marking the location that we want, and that's the bottom of the hill on East Hillview Drive. I'm going to right-click a random spot up the road and select Directions to Here. Step 5. So it's telling me that it's a 1-minute drive up the hill, basically. It's approximately 350 feet for that drive, but that's only an estimate. Look over at the left column, and I actually have 331 feet. That's more accurate. But we need some kind of elevation here. All right, step 6. Let's draw ourselves a diagonal line for the hill. And according to Google Maps, that random place where I clicked was 331 feet long. Okay, and I almost thought that distance on Google Maps was going to be a run. You've got rise and run. And then I realized, because everything is angled, even if ever so slightly, this is a hypotenuse. And remember, every single diagonal line in mathematics actually is the hypotenuse of a right triangle. So we need a rise and we need a run, and we'll be able to figure out the slope. Step 7. If you look at the top left, you're probably on the car icon right now, which will tell you how far to drive. But I want you to look 2 to the right and select the walking icon. Okay, so if you're driving, who cares about steepness? But if you're walking or biking, yeah, steepness is really going to matter on your tired muscles, right? Now notice on the left-hand side, and you may have to click an arrow to reveal this on your own computer, but it should be there. Notice that the elevation is changing and it's showing you the elevation going from 1,010 feet above sea level to 1,063 feet above sea level. Now that information we can use to put back into our problem. So the rise of the street is actually going to be the higher elevation, 1063, minus the lower elevation. Wouldn't that give you the rise? And that's 53 feet. Okay, so that's a height or feet. All right, that's step 8, writing that down. Step number 9. How do we figure out if this is 53 and that's 331? Guess how you figure out the missing side. I hope you're already saying it at home. Pythagorean theorem. 53 squared plus run squared, or you could call it b squared, whatever, equals 331 squared. Okay? So the run, if you go ahead and square this out on a calculator, okay, calculator says it is 326.729. 326.729. And now, how did I figure out the slope of all these streets around Middle Tennessee? The slope is rise, 53, over run, 326.729, except I'm keeping the more accurate number on my screen, the longer number. And I divide that. 0.1622, that's your slope. What we talked about in class was the grade. Remember, if you shift the decimal twice, you can call it a 16.22% grade. And we said, like, tractor trailers can't even get up like an 8 or 9% grade. This is over 16% grade up there on East Hillview Drive. Wow. All right, so that was your final slope. Now, of course, in the lesson, though, didn't I mention the angle, not the slope? I was only talking about angles, right? We had that one lesson in class, same lesson where we talked about the tanks and the tractor trailers going up hills. The tangent of any angle is always equal to the slope. It's such a simple formula. One of the simplest formulas in math, actually. So the tangent of, you can call the angle x. You could call it A for angle. What do we most commonly use in math? The Greek letter theta. Remember this? That's usually what we call angles. The tangent of mystery angle on the road, which is going to go there, by the way, is equal to the slope, which is this number, 0.1622. All right, and the final step, I want to figure out what is theta. What is this, the angle or the steepness of my road in degrees? How do you get rid of tangent so that you can get theta by itself? There's only one way to get rid of tangent. Inverse tangent. Remember this one? So if I take the inverse tangent of the left side, I'll take the inverse tangent of the right side. And you can do this at home with your own street, or if you want to pick a nearby street that you think is super steep and you can put this to the test. Hey, if you find a steeper one, tell me. Tangent inverse and tangent will cancel each other out. Theta is by itself. On a calculator, we'll type the inverse tangent button of 0.1622. And the final answer on the calculator is 9.2 degrees. 9.2 roughly, that is the degrees. And remember we said that the steepest road, East Hillview Drive, was 9.4 degrees at its absolute steepest. So I just adjusted the other end of that route on Google Maps, and I just kind of tested different sections and figured out that 9.4 was the winner. We just picked a random place and just got 9.2. So obviously this is the steepest public road in all of Middle Tennessee. It's insane. It's way up there. Okay? Now, you might also be wondering, Mr. Wade, did you do this for like every single road in all of Tennessee to figure this out? Like, you don't have that much time. I will go through a lot to come up with a real life problem. I will go through 8 hours of research just to provide a real life problem for you in class. I won't check every single road in Tennessee. I actually did go to a website that had recommendations for bicyclists, cyclists who are like training to go up steep hills. And they did have a list of like 20 or 30 in the area that they thought were probably among the steepest. So people had thrown out lots of suggestions, and I kind of narrowed it down to that, and I also threw in a couple of extras that I knew about. And so we're pretty sure we got all the steepest ones checked out, and this was the winner. So now you can check out the steepness of your hill. Or if you think you can find a hill that's even steeper, try to find it. Oh, one more thing, the mystery that's close to Nashville School of the Arts. Students who leave NSA and drive up Foster Avenue towards Murfreesboro Road, you've all passed this gas station. The entrance is unbelievably steep, and we all wonder, just how steep is that? And ever since I came to NSA in 2018, I've driven past that and thought, how steep is that parking lot? How steep is that entrance? It's insane. It doesn't even look legal. And so I kept thinking, you know what? Maybe we can do it in an integrated 3 class. Well, this is the perfect time. Even though it's all virtual, why don't we do this? So I was in 7th period one day, and I was teaching this steepness lesson. Shout out to Judah Webb, because Judah's always thinking, always being intellectual and thinking about real life math. And Judah said, what about that parking lot entrance down there at the end of Foster Avenue, Mr. Wade? How steep is that? And I said, you know what? I need to find out. Well, today is the day. So I ran the numbers for you, and you will not believe how steep the entrance was. East Hillview Drive, the steepest public road in Middle Tennessee, 9.4 degrees. Marathon gas station parking lot near NSA. Are you ready for this? I ran the numbers. 14 degrees. That's right. 14 degrees steep. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, that right next to our school, every time you see that now in the future, I want you to realize that I'm pretty sure, I'm extremely confident that the steepest piece of pavement, including roads, parking lots, gravel roads, anything, the steepest piece of road you can drive on in Middle Tennessee is probably the gas station at the end of our road. How about that? And nobody, I don't think anybody knows it. Now you do. That is the champion. And that's what I call bonus content.
Mathematics. Mathematics.
It's simple mathematics.
Mathematics. Mathematics.
It's simple mathematics.
Mathematics. Mathematics.
It's simple mathematics.
Mathematics. Mathematics.
It's simple mathematics.